this edition of Southern Newsweek. A Pacific Islands centre in South Dunedin joins others in providing COVID-19 vaccinations. A circus stranded in Ashburton says it hopes to put on a show before they leave. And a bagpiper entertains walkers in Dunedin's town belt with his skirlings. Kia ora, I'm Melissa Barton. People from Pacific Island nations who are living in Dunedin were invited to talk about COVID-19 related issues in their native languages. Caversham's Pacific Trust Otago is operating as a vaccination and information centre for Pacifica people.
The Pacific Trust Otago in the Dunedin suburb of Caversham has now opened its doors to help local Pacifica people get access to COVID-19 vaccines and information about what the immunisation process entails.
We felt it was important that as a Pacifica organisation that we're able to provide a space for our Pacifica in our community to be able to come have their questions answered and feel safe that there's a bilingual person there to help them in regards to answer those questions, but also get vaccinated.
General Manager Lloyd Maole says it's much easier to inform people about the virus and vaccine when the conversation is in their native language.
It's great because there's no confusion over translation in regards to information about COVID.
Pacifica people have been identified as more likely to have underlying health conditions such as diabetes and heart disease, making them more vulnerable to COVID-19.
Obviously in the media and the stats, we're not the best uptakers of the vaccination, but we're trying to change that and deliver a different alternative method of doing that.
The centre is available to all and no booking is required. It's set to run from 10 a.m. until about 3 p.m. each weekday, with a late night for essential workers still to be confirmed. People can also call 0800 662 620 to talk to someone in Samoan, Tongan or other Pacific languages. In Dunedin, the South Today.
And while vaccinations have stopped at Caversham Centre, they will be providing vaccinations to all of the EFKS Church on McAndrew Road this coming Thursday the 9th, Friday the 10th and Saturday the 11th of September. For one Dunedin man, lockdown proved to be a load of rubbish, quite literally. While Alert Level 4 gave many an opportunity for baking cakes and binge-watching TV shows, Andrew Earl Peacock was picking up roadside rubbish.
Picking up the cans, drink bottles and other trash that lazy people have thrown out of their cars along the road between Brighton and Tairi Mouth is Andrew Earl Peacock, who's been devoting 4 hours a day over lockdown to tidy up the scenic roadway.
Yeah, just trying to give the coast a good clean up. While we're all on lockdown, I thought it's a good way to get some exercise and do something good for the community and for the coast.
Living nearby, Earl Peacock says he first noticed the roadside rubbish when he was out on a bike trip to stretch his legs.
So I'm a member of the Brighton community and I surf regularly along the stretched coast and I do love it and I want to look after it, keep it clean for myself and for everybody else.
He says cleaning up just 4 kilometres of road has already yielded an astonishing almost 100 kilos of rubbish.
This is all just from the roadside gutters, so I haven't gotten in really into the bushes or onto the beachfront. This is all just from the roadside.
Earl Peacock says he also found larger piles of rubbish illegally dumped in some of the lay-bys, which the City Council has now pledged to remove and try and identify the culprits. Near Brighton, the South Today.
A travelling circus had to spend lockdown in the big tent in Ashburton. The circus's owner says they're hoping to still put on a show for ticket holders before they leave.
The tents are all set up in the Ashburton domain for the Great Moscow Circus, but lockdown means the shows have been postponed for the moment. Circus owner-director Harry Webber says his family are making the most of their extended stay in town.
It's an unusual lockdown because we've never been sort of locked down while we're on the road. This time we're staying in the caravan or the mobile home. But a beautiful place Ashburton is. We love coming here, and it's a great place to be locked down.
Weber was born in Germany and is a 7th generation member of the Weber circus family. He and his New Zealand wife Marie have 8 children who all perform in the show.
The kids perform in the show, all of them, so they're part of the show, so training goes on every day. We have barbecues, we have walks around the tent, and they've got little electric bikes that they can go around on.
The circus had to cancel 12 shows in Ashburton, but are hoping to put on an event for locals before they leave town.
There were kids with their birthday parties coming in to see the circus over the time, and that just got cancelled. And I can just put myself in the kids' shoes. They're all excited about going to see the circus, and then all of a sudden, bang. So hopefully the council will allow us to stay another week longer after the lockdown, so that we can honour tickets and let all those people, and especially the children, come and see the circus.
When not in lockdown, the Webers have a full schedule with the circus on the road 48 weeks of the year, touring throughout New Zealand and overseas. In Ashburton, the South Today.
People taking the chance to stretch their legs in Dunedin's town belt are being treated to the skirlings of a lone piper. Ashley Honeywell is out amongst the grass and trees most lunch times, practising on the bagpipes to keep his playing in shape.
Dunedin bagpipe player Ashley Honeywell has been spending lunchtimes during lockdown at a park in the town belt, keeping up his piping skills. To be nice to his neighbours, he normally practices at the City of Dunedin Pipe Band's club rooms, but these are out of bounds at the moment.
Obviously with lockdown we're sort of pressed for practice spaces at the moment, and I'm just fortunate to have this park opposite my flat, and I've been making the most of lockdown and practising out here on my lunch hours every day.
Honeywell reports that most people walking past are appreciative of his skirling abilities.
I'm giving a bit of applause at the end of each session, and now, as you can see, I've managed to gain a bit of local fame too, so that's interesting.
He's currently working hard to get back in shape for the pipe band competition season, which is set to start in November.
Practice could be going better. I'm a bit of a perfectionist and I've lost a bit of stamina recently, so that's why I'm trying to get up onto it at the moment while I've got the chance to, and while life's a bit less hectic. So yeah, slowly building my strength back up and getting the fingers back to where I know they can be and when they should be.
Honeywell is a regular piper at Dunedin events such as graduation marches. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Still to come after the break on Southern Newsweek. Vaccinations continued apace across Dunedin, and walkers on the golf course are warned that golfing has now resumed. So catch this and more after the break. Welcome back. The team behind more than 10,000 COVID-19 vaccinations at a drive-through clinic at the Dunedin's Edgar Centre spent 2 days last week immunising Dunedin's student population. The clinic operated at the Forsyth Bar Stadium on Monday and Tuesday, giving vaccines to all who walked in.
Dunedin's Forsyth Bar Stadium was turned into a mass vaccination clinic yesterday and today, designed to cater to the city's large student population.
The purpose is to enable easy access for students who have stayed back due to lockdown, and they may be living in flats in the North Dunedin area, to be able to just walk in and get a vaccine.
The clinical team were the same who averaged more than 1,000 vaccinations a day at a drive-through at the Edgar Centre last week. And Karamia Pewhairangi says they were hoping to break their daily average during the 2-day stay at the stadium.
We're hoping to get 1,000 at the minimum, and if we can get close to 3,000, that'll be amazing.
Albie Lawrence says getting the vaccination is a quick and simple procedure for anyone who has a spare 20 minutes or so.
It's an easy process. You sit in a seat and it doesn't take long to get into one. Get a vaccine and in 15 minutes you're allowed to leave that seat and head off home.
The team says they did not see a single serious adverse reaction during their 10-day clinic at the Edgar Centre, and they'll resume their drive-through vaccinations at the Edgar Centre tomorrow. In Dunedin, the South Today.
With a shift to alert level 3 came the return of coffee and fast food. But our film crews who ventured out at dawn on Wednesday morning found there was no frantic rush for takeaways and hot drinks in Dunedin.
A shift to alert level 3 for everyone south of Auckland encouraged some Dunedin early birds to celebrate with a fast food fix at McDonald's on Andersons Bay Road, which had a steady stream of cars from when it opened at 7 a.m.
We've been struggling to get takeaways for a long time, and we love McDonald's. It's daily for us, Monday to Friday, even the weekends before we go out. After we go out, a hungover Sunday, McDonald's is the go-to.
Popular cafes around the city, such as Rhubarb and Roslyn, were open again for loyal customers to pick up a takeaway barista coffee and muffin.
I'm happy just to come out and be able to get a proper coffee from my old mate Sam at Rhubarb, because they do a great job here.
The St Clair Esplanade was bustling with bubbles of people enjoying the sunshine and a freshly made coffee.
I just come down here the first morning, this place is open again, so this is my usual place I come to on just about every day. I normally order Americana, coffee and probably a scone or a muffin or something like that.
For some, it was a taste of things to come as the country tries to get the more infectious Delta variant of COVID-19 under control. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Golfers were able to go back on the fairways and greens under level 3, as long as they maintained social distancing. As a result, people who have been stretching their legs on golf courses during lockdown are now warned that golf balls will be flying through the air again.
The Otago Golf Club in the Dunedin suburb of Helensburgh has been open for people to stretch their legs on the park-like grounds during lockdown. General Manager Shelley Duncan says the presence of the public helped avoid the vandalism that the club encountered during last year's lockdown.
A lot of the feedback we've had has been really positive. People have been able to have their dogs obviously on lead and picking up after their dogs. We've had no real vandalism or no bikers and things on like we did last time.
The course reopened to socially distancing golfers today, and Duncan is advising the walking public to stay safe.
They can stick to the outsides, but we'd prefer that we just don't want someone getting hurt and ruining what's been a great experience for the community during lockdown.
The club is set to host the New Zealand Amateur Golf Championship in 2 months' time. In Dunedin, the South Today.
An Invercargill family found a seal pup hiding under their hedge, more than 6 kilometres from the nearest sea coast. They believe the pup must have got disorientated and swum upstream from the New River estuary.
The Ritchie family found this baby seal sitting under a hedge at their property at Otamarika Road, west of Invercargill.
I didn't believe my mum when she told me. She came into my room and said, "There's a baby seal in our hedge," and I was like, "What?"
They believe the pup made its way up to their place after swimming more than 6 kilometres up the nearby Otapuni Creek.
My guess is he came from the creek way down the back there, maybe, which is, about half a k away, and then that goes to the ocean. So he must have come up there, I reckon.
The Department of Conservation says seals can sometimes venture up to 15 kilometres inland. Following their discovery, the family released the pup in the ocean near Bluff. In Invercargill, the South Today.
Still to come on Southern Newsweek, a Wanaka man has started a petition to break away from the Queenstown Lakes Council, and police warn drivers and cyclists not to travel far from their suburbs during COVID Alert Level 3. So see you after the break. Thanks for staying with us. A Wanaka man has started an online petition for the town to get its own council independent of Queenstown. So far, the petition has garnered more than half of the 1,500 signatures required for the local government commission to take notice.
Wanaka mechanic Dean Rankin wants to see his 10-year-old son, Ethan, grow up in a town free from the shackles of the Queenstown Lakes District Council, which he says are squandering local ratepayers' money on seemingly endless projects using outside contractors.
There's a lot of reasons when you think about it and look around town. We seem to be getting a hell of a lot of money wasted and spent on stuff with projects taking such a long amount of time, and there's no local contractors involved in any of this work going on, which is sort of really disappoints me. Like, to me, it should be we should be keeping our money that we're spending in our community to a certain extent.
Not getting any joy from councillors he said he's spoken to about his concerns of misspending of money, Rankin started an online petition to request the local government commission for a way to make Wanaka become independent and perhaps join with the Central Otago District Council, which is actually where it originated.
This isn't just about me, this is about Wanaka as a community. So yeah, we outline our views and thoughts on what we want, and then we basically go to the commission and say, hey, well, this is what we're thinking, can you please take a closer look at it? The commission is there for us, it's not there for the council, it's not there for the government. The commission is there to look after us, basically.
Rankin needs 10% of registered voters in the Upper Clutha area to sign the petition, and he says it's already halfway there, but he acknowledges that change won't happen overnight.
The petition is the first step, and it's probably going to be a long, drawn-out road for us to get what we want, but the petition is the first step to basically getting what we need to get the wheels rolling, to see how much local support we have behind it.
In Wanaka, the South Today.
If you're driving through the Dunedin suburb of Waikari, you might want to keep a lookout for ducks. One couple living there are looking after 2 broods of ducklings that travel about 500 metres each day between Centennial Avenue and a nearby stream.
Dunedin resident Jeff Alexander has become well known in his suburb of Helensburgh for helping 2 broods of ducklings from a nearby creek travel safely along the half-kilometre journey to his house and back every day.
They just turned up here a few years ago and we just follow them home. And they live down on the stream, and they walk up to our place, we feed them, and at the end of the day we walk them home because I want to make sure they're safe.
Part of the ducks' travels involves crossing Walkery Road, and Alexander has become increasingly concerned for their safety on the often busy street.
To be honest, we've stopped walking them during the day. We only do it the last one at night because or else it becomes their life, not ours. And so we just said, no, we can only walk them home at the end of the day.
Every day he and his wife feed the ducks a meal of rolled oats, steamed rice, birdseed and sugar water. And some days can involve unexpected rescues as well.
One of the drains down the road, I had to lift it up to get the 2 of the ducks out. So I get the ducks out and I'm getting the second one out, and the duck's pecking me for touching its ducklings. And people are looking at me on the road going, what's he doing lying in a drain?
Alexander says his primary motivation for looking after the ducks is born out of a holistic view of life on Earth.
You only get out of this earth what you put into it. And if you put kindness around, you're going to get kindness back.
In Dunedin, the South Today.
United States-based billionaire Peter Thiel has submitted plans to the local council to build a lodge near Wanaka. The luxury facility is designed to accommodate both the tech billionaire and guests.
Thiel and his husband Matt Danzyson have lodged an application with the Queenstown Lakes District Council to build a complex on the large estate they own at Damper Bay, about 10 minutes drive from Wanaka. The proposed lodge is designed so that the building merges into the landscape while still providing each of the 10 guest rooms uninterrupted north-facing views towards Lake Wanaka and the Southern Alps. Facilities would include a reception, dining rooms, a theatre, offices, a spa treatment room and meditation area. Peter Thiel was reputed to have made almost $3 billion from early investments in Facebook and PayPal. He was granted New Zealand citizenship 10 years ago, despite having only spent 12 days in the country.
Police have been running checkpoints across Dunedin to make sure people are not travelling outside their local area. They say they've encountered a number of people driving or cycling much further than they're allowed at alert levels 3 and 4.
This police checkpoint in Portobello is just one of many across Dunedin in recent days, letting people know that they shouldn't drive or cycle long distances without acceptable reasons during alert levels 3 and 4. Senior Constable Aaron Smith says they've encountered intrepid cyclists who made the journey all the way from far-off suburbs such as North East Valley.
We've been having a lot of people down on the peninsula coming from town, cycling out all the way to the heads, which is against the rules in regards to level 4. So we thought we'd pop out, have some of the crew come out from town and help me out because I'm sole charge. So yeah, just making sure everyone's doing the right thing.
Smith is based in Portobello and says while the locals are friendly, they don't want people venturing into their community unnecessarily while COVID-19 is potentially still spreading across the country.
Everyone in my community down here, especially, big shout out to them. They've been absolutely amazing this time round, and they just don't want people coming, from outside our area as well, to stop that spread should it happen. So they have those concerns, and that's why we're here and giving them some reassurance that people who are not supposed to be here aren't here.
Smith says the public have generally been as well behaved during these recent high alert levels as they were during the first half of last year.
Initially, at the start of this lockdown 4, everyone was giving it a go, seeing how far they could push the rules. But with a little bit, as I say, of education and speaking with them, most people, for the most part, are great.
Everywhere south of Auckland shifted to alert level 3 this morning, but going out to exercise remains restricted to your local area. In Dunedin, the South Today.
And that wraps up this edition of Southern Newsweek. For the latest news from the Southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Ka kite anō.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.